Hi, this is my walkthrough for the last Jeff Gordon challenge. I'm recording it on a phone and off a projection TV, so bear with me a little bit. But you're supposed to follow this Lowe's car all the way around, basically. Use him for drafting. He's going to be very important for you. But I don't have a racing wheel either. I'm just using a DUALSHOCK controller, which I found significantly difficult. And this is the easiest way I've found to get through it with a regular PlayStation controller. Basically, you're going to follow the Lowe's car, but you want to, especially around the first corner here, we want to just kind of travel a little bit in between the two of the cars. Just kind of set them right down your middle line. And as you come around the very end of the corner, there's these, you can use the drafting zone behind a car kind of as a slingshot. If you're on the left hand side of it and just a fraction into the draft, maybe halfway into his draft position, when you straighten out for a corner, he'll get a nice little slingshot, and it actually takes you around some of the corners a little bit quicker too when you're following cars that are drafting. Just having that draft on your right hand side is going to be in keeping your speed up and increasing your speed, and you'll notice that towards the end of this lap. So again, we're just staying in the middle of the two cars here, kind of, and we're going to cut over. And then for the next corner, I'll call it, the same thing. You can kind of, if you can tuck down towards the red cars as much as you can, kind of straddling the two cars as you're taking the corner. It'll just help you keep your thumbs in line if you're having troubles with the joysticks. Just try and make a nice solid line out of it, but you're just going to want to stay towards the left hand side of the Lowe's car a little bit. I didn't really do it. This was actually a bad run. I didn't actually think I was going to make the trophy with this run. But I'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, so I'm at 332 here. You should be in the mid-30s, at least at 35, and when you straighten out from this corner when you're following this Lowe's car, and you should be able to build that up to above a 50, a 52, 55 or something like that, before you start decreasing as a result of the corner here. And again, you just want to make sure you come out of the corner nice and easy there, and you should be at about a high 320s or a low 330. You should be able to do it too. I think I scored a 176 at this time trap off the lead driver. I've done a 158 and maybe even a little bit better before, and it's hard to pull off. But it puts you in a good position if you can avoid running into the cars later. And that's kind of the advantage of just a nice 170 score or a high 160 score around this time trap, is that you're not going to run into the other cars just for lack of being able to turn in any direction and just come out, hit them at the end of the next corner here. So just follow the Lowe's car into the next corner here. And you're going to kind of try and cut down sharp, and distance traveled over, carrying your speed around a nice wide corner here seems to be beneficial. If you can just cut down into the corner on the left hand side and keep yourself straight and your speed up, you'll make up a lot of ground on these cars, and then you'll just bleed off speed as you travel backwards up the track, or travel further up the track and into their drafting zone. Now here's the thing, you want to keep down low on these cars, and yeah, you're just going to pick up a lot of speed off their draft. You don't have to be right in line with them. I found it really hard to just travel right behind them. Sometimes you can. But if you start to take them on the left-hand side, they seem to submit, the AI or something like that, and the cars will start to back off. So it's significantly easier passing on the left-hand side on the inside. I wouldn't do any passing on the outside. You're just going to lose speed, and you might pass one car, but it's not going to win you this race. So here you're gonna try and get back into the draft here behind that. I don't know which car it is. The bright neon car there on the far right, and again, just ease out of the corner and let the draft kind of whip you, and you'll get a nice little speed boost real quick out of it. Now here, I just stay down low in this corner, and you'll notice when you come up to cars that they'll just start backing off. Your objective here is to catch those 4 cars up top. Looks like the Lowe's car is already up there. And I think that's the Lowe's car anyways. Yeah, just use their draft. You can stay on the left-hand side of them. You don't have to be right behind them. I'm at 355 here. I should continue to keep a lot of speed here and get a nice little whip. You can get up to 170 really quick right at the end of the corner as you travel back into their draft zone right when the course straightens out. So your objective, yeah, is just to try and catch these cars as best as you can. Going around that course, last corner, nice and easy. You want to be in full draft on them, and you should be at about 330 just as you're getting out of the corner, and be accelerating already to start catching these guys. It's really important. And when this Lowe's car on the left here, it's really important that he makes it with you around the whole track. If he doesn't make it with you, he's not going to be attempting to pass these cars. And that's something I found out early on, is when I was setting times in the 1.5s around the first trap, I was passing the Lowe's car. I was going too fast, and I was sometimes taking the Lowe's car out. And when I did that, it got me a lot of places right off the start. I didn't have many cars to contend with later on. However, the problem is, during this last corner coming up, if the Lowe's car is not in play, the 4 cars will just line up into a big line, not abreast, but in line with each other in a big draft, and you'll never catch them. The only way to win this challenge is for this Lowe's car to be up there with you, and he will drop down to the left-hand side to try and attempt to take these cars. And that'll force the rest of the AI cars to spread out abreast, and they'll all just try and contend for position. And your objective is just going to dive right down on the left-hand side and take all these cars as they're vying for position and not just going around a big draft. I actually was a little skeptical of actually getting a gold on this because I knew these cars were going to be creeping up behind me because I was bleeding speed. And I almost had one get me.